$148.5 billion. That's the amount that adults in the United States are expected to drop on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, according to the latest survey data from Finder. But what are a few good deals for triathletes? What's up, everybody? This is Mario, and in today's episode, I want to share a few good deals that I've seen from products that I've used. Now, before I get into that, there's a couple of things that I want to point out about things that I would buy online versus things that I wouldn't buy online if I'm getting into triathlons or if I'm a triathlete and I'm starting to do longer distances. So if you're getting into triathlons or if you're getting serious about triathlons, I think the number one thing that you're going to need is a bike. That's going to be the most expensive item that you're going to purchase to get into triathlons and kind of level up your game. But this is something that I wouldn't buy online if it's my first road bike or my first triathlon bike. And that's because the fit is so important for your bike. So what I would recommend with that is actually going to a bike shop, talking to one of the experts there, explain what your goals are, what you're trying to accomplish, and your price range, and then they're going to give you a few different options. And the most important thing is to actually test out the bike and ride it before you actually purchase it. So when I was buying my first road bike 5 or 6 years ago, I was looking at 2 or 3 different bikes, and there was a bike that kind of instantly stood out to me, and I was like, oh, that's definitely the one that I'm going to buy. But they encouraged me to actually ride it, and when I got on the two final bikes, the bike that I actually liked the most from looking at it was not the most comfortable for me. And I ended up going with a different bike, the Trek Emonda, based on how it felt and based on how it fit when I was actually riding it and doing the test ride. So one of my favorite things to say is that you don't choose the bike chooses you. So if you're starting to think about getting into triathlons, you're thinking about a bike, I would not recommend buying one online first without riding it. So kind of along that trend, couple of other things. If you're getting into triathlons, you're going to want a wetsuit. Now, if it's your first race, you can just rent one. You don't necessarily need to buy one. But if you're starting to get serious about triathlons and you're doing a couple races in a year, it's a good use of more cost effective to actually buy your wetsuit. But this is also something where the fit is super important. So I would really try and go to like a local store and see if you can try something on and see if it fits you first. So that's the second thing that I actually wouldn't buy online. And then the third is running shoes. So if it's your first time buying a nice pair of running shoes, I would recommend going to get fitted, have them do a gait analysis, figure out what type of shoe is best for you, and then get that first pair in a running store. Then after that, once you figure out what you like and what you don't like, that's when you can buy stuff online. So that's just a quick thing about things that I would buy online versus things that I wouldn't buy online. But with that out of the way, there's 3 things that I want to share with you today that are great deals on products that I have used over the past 7 to 8 years from doing triathlons. And outside of those things that I just mentioned, the bike, the wetsuit, the shoes, one thing that I really recommend if you're getting into triathlons is getting a race watch. So that's just a smartwatch that you wear on your wrist when you are swimming, biking, and running. And it's really the best way to measure your performance through training across all 3 disciplines. So you can, if you have like an Apple Watch or a smartwatch already, those have apps, activity apps that can track your runs and your swims and your bikes, but they're not going to give you that level of detail that you might need if you're getting into triathlons and you're really trying to level up your performance. So the race watch that I use is the Garmin Forerunner 735 XT. So it is a race watch that is built for triathletes, and it's one of the most cost effective. So a lot of these smartwatches can be more than $500, which was definitely out of my budget and my price range a couple of years ago when I was getting started. And I honestly wouldn't even spend that much now on a race watch. But the Forerunner is really my favorite race watch. I like how easy it is to track the workouts. I love how it syncs with the Garmin Connect app through Bluetooth. And it's just really easy to see how my workouts were. And that's a race watch that I bought. Actually bought the first time I bought it was maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And then I think I spent, it looks like I'm looking at it right now. I spent $230 on it. But there is a sale through Amazon right now where you can get that same watch for $169. So you're going to be saving $60 or $70 if you go with that race watch. So highly recommend that one. Now, another one, you're getting into triathlons. You're going to be spending a lot of time on your bike. And when you're spending all that time on your bike, you're going to want to be comfortable. And one of the best ways to be comfortable on the bike is by getting some padded bike shorts. The bike shorts that I use are from Pearl Izumi. So that's Pearl, Pearl, Izumi, Izumi. I think that's pronunciation. I probably should have double checked that. But I got these bike shorts. They're super, they're tight, they're comfortable, keep everything in the right spots. And I recommend that one. They're kind of cost effective, and the bike shorts that they have, I think they're normally $50 or $60. There's a deal on the Pearl Izumi website where you can get those for around $30. So you're going to save $20 to $30 on the bike shorts if you go with those. Now, one other product that I wanted to share is, this is kind of the part where a lot of times people getting into triathlons are the most worried about, and that's the swim. And more specifically with that is the open water swim. So when I was doing research on which swim goggles to buy, I did research on what are the best goggles to buy for triathletes in open water. And of all the reviews that I read, everybody kept pointing to the Roka R1 goggles. So these are, Roka is a company, they're in the United States. I think they're in Austin, Texas, and they're one of the top brands for triathletes. They have really good wetsuits, they have swimsuits, they have tri-suits, and they have these goggles. And the thing that I like about these goggles is that they have these wider, they have like a wider lens, and they're kind of polarized. So it's built for open water swimming. So when you're open water swimming, a lot of times you're looking in the lake and you need to peek ahead. And a lot of times these races are in the morning where the sun is still kind of starting to rise, and it can be kind of hard to actually see far ahead. These goggles are designed to combat that, and they're really comfortable, wide lens, and really good for open water swimming. So I would definitely recommend checking those out. Those are the Roka R1 goggles. And when I bought those, I believe that they were around $40, but through the Roka website, you can get those goggles for $28. So that is a really good deal on a product that I trust and I stand by and I highly recommend. So those are just kind of 3 things that I would recommend based on things that I've used. But since I already have those products, I'm not going to purchase them today. One thing that I'm actually going to go for is the active pass from triathlete.com. So triathlete.com, I've signed up for their newsletter, and they provide a lot of really good, relevant triathlon content. And with the active pass, apparently, I'll get a premium membership content. I'm going to get a print magazine subscription for a year. I'm going to get 2 books from Velo Press. I'm going to get access to all of their training plans. Also, they have a deal where you're going to get access to finisher picks, which is when you complete a race. They have photographers there, and for an additional purchase, you can purchase those pictures. And all of that will give you you get access to all of that through the Active Pass, which is a yearly membership. Normally it's $99. They have a deal for the Active Pass membership for $69. So that is something that I'm going to be going for. And I'm doing this to make sure that I have access to all of the most up-to-date content because I hope that the content that they share in the kind of the premium membership and also the magazine subscription, I hope that that's going to inspire future podcast episodes of things that can that are happening in the triathlon community and in the triathlon world and the endurance world that I can share with all of you. And then I'm actually super excited for getting access to 2 different books from Velo Press. Velo Press, they're like the main publisher for all of triathlon and endurance sporting books. So I have a couple of books. I have the Triathletes Training Bible. I've got access to 80/20 Endurance, a couple of books from Matt Fitzgerald, but they have like over 150 different books that you can choose from. And I started looking through it, and there were just so many books that stood out to me of things that I'm super excited to read and research and then share those best practices with you. So that's definitely something that you can take advantage of. That's the Active Pass from triathlete.com. It's a yearly membership. That's definitely something that I am going to go with this year. So I haven't actually run this by Emily yet, but by the time that she listens to this podcast, it's probably going to be too late. So sorry, Emily. But that's what I have for you guys today. Just wanted to share a couple of things that I would recommend to purchase on Black Friday, things that I wouldn't recommend, and just wanted to share something that I'm going to be investing in because hopefully it will result in some additional podcast episodes in the future. And above all of this Black Friday stuff, I really just want you all to appreciate what you do have and go outside, do something today, go for a hike, go for a run. If there's nice weather, go for a bike ride. That's what I'll be doing. I'm going to be biking indoors, and then I'll probably go for a hike or go for a walk outside with the family. So that's what I have going on, but I hope that was helpful, and I hope you all have an amazing day.